Hello lovelies and welcome to the Kitaholic Kits YouTube channel. It's Chrissy here today and it's my turn to show you what I've been up to with the January kits. These kits are gorgeous, the colours are absolutely beautiful, and on our side of the world, here in Australia, it's summer. So if you watched the unboxing I did, you would have heard me mention that when I see these papers, I think of beachy pool underwater photos, and it just so happens we've been playing with the underwater camera. And so I have lots of underwater camera photos and photos of us in the pool and at the beach, and this happens to be one of my favourite photos. Now this is my husband and my oldest son, and yeah, playing with the underwater camera. This is them under the water with our awesome camera. It turned out to be a really great photo, just a little bit of editing just to clear it up a bit, and it's absolutely beautiful. So when I saw these kits, my absolute favourite part was the distress crayons. Now these crayons are amazing to work with, and I knew when I saw this paper as well that this is what I wanted to do with it. I wanted to use those crayons and the packaging technique to make a matte for my photo. And I tell you what, these crayons are amazing. They're translucent, but the colour is still very vibrant, which is a really good mix. And it didn't get my paper very wet. It didn't take long for it to dry either, and it didn't warp my paper as well, which was really good for a mixed media wet product. So all I did is I scribbled it onto some packaging, added sprayed a little bit of mist, like literally only a few sprays, smushed it together to mix the two colours together, and then applied it with the packaging to the paper. And as you can see, it's very, very effective and worked really, really well, and it was just perfect for this photo. So all I'm doing now is just I'm going to back this piece of pattern paper onto the gorgeous, I think it's Lagoon cardstock, maybe, I can't remember, but it's the green one. And I just cut out all the sticking, because who wants to watch me fiddle with tape? Even I don't like watching it, it's boring. So I'm looking for some foam to prop up my photo. Turns out I've run out of foam, so I grabbed some cardboard, and this is actually my kit box I cut apart, and you just use the cardboard as an extra layer, and it's around about the same thickness as fun foam anyway, so it works really well for me. So if you haven't watched any videos I've done in the past or any unboxings that I've done, you might not know I get all 4 kits. The mixed media, the project life, the main, and the embellishment kit. And when I get them, I mix them all together in a 12x12 storage tub that I have. I put my papers and my sticker sheets and things in, and then I have what I call my little plate of awesomeness. And it's like a little dip tray thing with 4 compartments, and I put my embellishments in there, and I keep it all in the kit, and then when I'm ready to do my DT work or work with my kit, I just pull it all out and sit it on my desk. And it just, yeah, it makes it very easy, a lot easier to keep it all together and, yeah, use my kit exclusively, which is a lot of fun. So I'm just going through the awesome die cuts that come with the kit, the entire pack of ephemera, which is really cool. Great colours, obviously it coordinates perfectly. And just pulling out a few things to tuck in behind my photo to make a little cluster down the bottom down here. So I know I wanted to tuck something under this photo and make a little cluster in the corner over here, and these little flower things worked really well. They even though it's a water layout, I thought that they worked well. They're a flower, but they're not a florally flower, if that makes sense. Think you know, Little Mermaid underwater type flowers, you know, that's what I was going for. That's what it reminds me of, and I think it works, even though, you know, it's underwater and they're flowers. Who cares? It's my layout, I can put what I like, right? And yeah, so I go to use the Perfect Day banner, but I don't end up using it. I end up going to the 3x4 stickers and pulling a few out and sticking it on top of the big blue flower, and I use the flare as another piece in my little cluster, which works really well. I'm quite happy with that. And then I get some sequins and some of the enamel dots, the triangles as well, and some of the Kaiser rhinestones, just to finish off this little cluster down the bottom. So I use just regular glue inside my fine line bottle to stick my sequins down, and I use just some double-sided foam tape for the flare, and I've had no problems with them so far. That's how I've stuck all my flares down if I haven't got my hot glue gun plugged in, because I'm too lazy to plug it in. But no, the double-sided foam tape works really well because it's just high enough that it goes inside the little void on the back and it sticks to the page really well. That's how I've always stuck down these flares that come in these awesome kits. I like to tuck my sequins under things, especially the big ones. If you've heard me whinge about them before, I can't make the big ones work. They just look weird when I use them. So I like the smaller ones, and the bag of sequins has multiple sizes, which is really cool, and very varying shades of blue, which is pretty cool as well. So I'm just tucking them in here and there and making little clusters. Triangle was confusing me for some reason. It was like an optical illusion. It just didn't look straight no matter what way I put it. And yeah, that's pretty much it for my cluster down the bottom. So at this stage I'm still thinking about my title. I was tossing up underwater fun or underwater camera or something, but I thought maybe that was going to be too long. And then I go get the resin words out of the kit, and I think about using the summer, but I want to save that for my project life because they're the perfect size. And I also have a double page spread of more underwater cameras, of more underwater camera photos that I plan on doing as well. So I want to save it for that. So I do go back to the thickers and decide to use those as my title. So I'm going to pull out the letters to spell underwater fun. And yes, you see right, I stick my letters to my hand first. I go through, get all the letters out, stick them to my hand, and then I put them down, usually on a ruler or something. But I went looking for wax paper, but I couldn't find any. But I've put them down on some plastic because I want to colour them in. I didn't think the white was going to pop enough, so I go get the distress crayon, the lovely blue, the dark blue, and I colour them in. This works really well. There was no problem at all. I sort of scribble on them and then rub it in, and yeah, they coloured beautifully. Now, if you've used distress inks or stains or anything before, you might know the trick that you can do. You use a bit of water and you dab it on, and then you soak up the water, and because distress inks and stains and paints and things are reactive with water, you can actually sop up some of that colour. And I decided to see if it would, 1, work with the crayons, and 2, work on the thickers, and I was quite pleasantly surprised. So here I go. I'm going to get some water, spray it into my hand, and I'm going to flick it or dribble it or drop it onto the letters. And then you let it soak for a few seconds, and then you soak it up with some paper towel, and look what happens. Isn't it amazing? It because it reacts with the water, and then you're sucking the water up with the paper towel, it gives you the splatters as a lighter colour, which I thought worked perfectly because it's an underwater themed layout. So it gives it that nice little varying shades with the drops. Yeah, it was really cool and a lot of fun. I was quite happy that it actually worked. So I decided to use both lots of alphabets that come in the kit for my title. I thought using the big ones for the entire title, it just looked a little strange. It looked a little weird. It was too big, I think. So I'm not overly, I don't love it because I think the fun is now too small, but hey, it's there, it's documented, it's in the album, it works. And it also gives me room left over to add some journaling as well, which I'm trying to do more of because I tend to not really journal on my layouts. So yeah, I'm trying to do more of that. So it gives me a nice little space down in the bottom corner to just quickly draw some lines and add some journaling, which I do towards the end. So once all this is down, I decide to go back to that cluster up the top. I wasn't 100% sure if I was going to use it or if I was going to do a cluster up there, but I didn't mind it up there, so I thought, let's work on that and we'll keep going with it. The banner was too big, so I don't actually like the memory, so I cut it off. Make it a bit smaller. Now I'll save that memories part and put it back in with my kit, and I'll use it for something else. And then as I was going through the ephemera, I found the circle Love This, and I thought that looked pretty cool, so that worked. I pop it up on some foam tape and stick it on top of the banner, and then I go back to those 3x4 stickers, which are really cool. I love phrase stickers. They're one of my favorite embellishments. I think it's a great way to add another element to a page. And yeah, I stick some of them up there, and then I go back with a few more sequins and rhinestones just to balance out the two clusters so they have the same elements in them. And that's going to be it for the layout. So I'm just going to adding the little finishing touches to this cluster, Then I'll add the journaling like I was telling you about, just writing about how we're playing around with the underwater camera, because, you know, it's lots of fun. And yeah, adding a few enamel dots and the rhinestones, and that's it for the layout. So I had a lot of fun with this layout. Those distress crayons are divine to play with, and the kit is amazing. It goes perfectly with these kinds of photos, and I've got lots to scrap, so I had a lot of fun making this layout. And you know when you just think of something in your head and it turns out the exact way you thought of it? Yeah, so I was very happy with how this layout turned out. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and can't wait to see what you do with the kits. So stay tuned, and we'll be back soon with more videos. Thanks for watching. Bye.